what's up, fish? This is Quick Query Quiz. Let's get started.
On October 1st, 2024, Black Information Network reports the unfortunate passing of John Amos back in August. He was most known for his performance in the cult classic Roots, Coming to America, and Good Times. In October 1966, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was founded by college students Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton in Oakland, California. This Black Power political organization operated from October 1966 until 1982. They established several community outreach programs to include free lunches, health clinics, educational initiatives, and many more. On October 1st, 1962, James Howard Meredith becomes the first black student to integrate the University of Mississippi with the assistance and protection of the federal marshals. Unfortunately, as a civil rights activist, he was shot 4 years later during his peaceful march, protesting violence against black people. James Howard Meredith later served from 1989 to 1991 as a domestic advisor on the staff of United States Senator Jesse Helm. On October 2, 1967, Thurgood Marshall is sworn in as the first black Supreme Court Justice. On October 2, 1971, the first episode of Soul Train airs with host Don Cornelius. On October 2, 1953, Vanessa Bell Armstrong was born. She is an incredible singer with an excellent career and sings the theme song to the hit television series, A Man. On October 3, 1956, Nat King Cole becomes the first performer to host his television show. On October 3, 2017, Black-ish airs their Juneteenth episode. On October 4th, C. Dolores Tucker was born. She was the former Secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from 1971 to 1977. She was also the official spokesperson for the War on Rap, denouncing lyrics that promoted gang activity, sexual violence, and threats against black women. On October 4, 1864, the New Orleans Tribune was first introduced. This was the first African-American daily newspaper. On October 5, 1917, Emmett J. Scott is appointed as the advisor to the War Department. He was a respected educator, author, and newspaper editor. On October 6, 2024, LeBron James and his son, Bronny James, made NBA history with their debut together on the court. October 6, 1871, the Fisk Jubilee Singers go on their first tour. This choir is an a cappella ensemble that toured to fundraise and gather money for Fisk University. On October 6, 2021, The Harder They Fall premieres at the London BFI London Film Festival. This movie showcases the lives of vigilante black cowboys and outlaws, but let's not forget about the 1976 smash hit movie Joshua, starring Fred Williamson as a former Civil War soldier that was on a mission to avenge his mother's murder. Joshua was the hero. On October 7, 2024, unfortunately, the talented Cissy Houston passed away. She was a renowned gospel singer and performer. October 7, 1993, the amazing Toni Morrison receives the Nobel Prize in Literature. Some of her most notable works were Beloved, The Bluest Eye, and Song of Solomon. On October 7, 2012, Steel Magnolias is released. It stars Queen Latifah, Alfre Woodard, Felicia Rashad, Jill Scott, Adepero Oduwe, and Condola Rashad. On October 7, 2016, Birth of a Nation was released. This movie stars Nate Parker and discusses the life of Nat Turner. On October 7th, writer and attorney Michelle Alexander is born. She has assisted in the reform of social justice and has many published works to include The New Jim Crow with the foreword by Cornel West. October 8, 1901, the Harlem branch of the YMCA was established. Introduced as the Hound Men's Christian Association, this location has been a significant part of black culture due to its history and diversity. The mission was to be a safe haven or refuge for young men facing life on the streets. October 9, 1865, Eugene Jacques Bullard was born. He was the first African-American combat pilot and the only black pilot in World War I. October 10, 1927, Hazel Johnson Brown is born. In 1979, she became the first African-American female Army general. In addition, she was also the first black chief of the United States Army Nurse Corps. On October 10, 1946, legendary actor Ben Vereen is born. He has had several iconic roles and is a Broadway performer. October 11, 1887, Alexander Miles patents the automatic opening and closing of elevator doors. October 12, 1908, Ann Petries was born. Her book, The Street, sold over 1 million copies. This book discussed the social injustices of the world. To include racism, sexism, and oppression, she was an amazing writer and a respected novelist. On October 13, 1926, Jesse Leroy Brown was born. He was a respected United States Navy officer. Jesse Leroy Brown was also the first African-American aviator to complete the United States Navy's Basic Flight Training Program. Unfortunately, his career and life were cut short in an unfortunate plane crash. His life was honored in the 2022 motion picture Devotion, starring Jonathan Majors. October 14, 1964, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King receives the Nobel Peace Prize. On October 15, 2024, Sarah Sidner and Ananda Lewis discussed their unique experiences with breast cancer and medical care. On October 15, 2024, Vice President Harris sat down with Charlemagne Thagard for a town hall-style conversation during which she addressed issues impacting the black community ahead of the 2024 election. October 15, 2010, unfortunately, Dr. Mildred Fay Jefferson passes away. She was the first African-American woman to graduate from Harvard Medical School. October 15, 1994, My Brother and Me first episode premiered. This classic starred Arthur Reggie III, Ralph Woolfolk IV, Jimmy Lee Newman, Jr. Aisling Sistrunk, Corinne E. Fraction, and Jim R. Coleman. On October 16, 1859, John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry takes place. John Brown was an abolitionist that wanted to dismantle slavery. On October 17, 1711, Jupiter Hammond was born. He was the first black poet to become published in the U.S. This respected writer is affectionately known as a founder of African American literature. On October 18, 1977, Reginald Martinez Jackson scores 3 home runs in a row in the World Series. On October 19, 1944, the U.S. Navy admits the first African American women to the waves. The acronym stood for Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service. On October 20, 1924, the Kansas City Monarchs defeat the Hilldale in the first Colored World Series. On October 20th, Vice President of the United States Kamala Devi Harris is born. On October 21st, 2024, Papa's House premieres on CBS. This new television series stars the Wayans family on and off the camera. The Wayans family has provided households with laughter for more than 40 years. On October 21, 2024, Black Information Network reports that California is welcoming their first undergraduate HBCU campus. This collaboration was made possible due to the efforts of Houston-Tillotson University, the National College Resources Foundation, the San Diego County Office of Education, and the University of La Verne. On October 21, 2024, Black Information Network reports the unfortunate passing of Thelma Mothershed Ware. She was a member of the Little Rock Nine. The Little Rock Nine were a group of 9 African American students who enrolled at Little Rock Central High School in 1957. On October 21, 2024, Hulu releases the trailer for the documentary of The Honorable Shine. It tells the triumph of the rapper turned political hero. October 21, 1850. The Fugitive Slave Act is not enforced in Chicago. The Fugitive Slave Law gave enslavers the right to re-enslave freedom seekers who had escaped and gone north to free states. On October 22, 2024, unfortunately, the untimely passing of Elizabeth Francis was reported. She was the oldest known person in America. She passed away at the reported age of 115. On October 22, 1952, Frank Emmanuel Peterson, Jr. is commissioned as the first African-American Marine Aviation Officer. On October 23, 2024, Black Information Network discuss the dynamics of father-son duos like Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. in Major League Baseball and LeBron James and Bronny James on the NBA court. On October 23, 1947, the NAACP petitions the United Nations on racial injustices. October 24, 1989, Season 3, Episode 1 of In the Heat of the Night, Althea is assaulted via forced intercourse by an acquaintance. This episode unfortunately details the commonality of brutal intercourse assaults and the lack of compassion for victims. Robbery and many forms of assault are often committed by acquaintances. The victimizer is often believed to be in search of power. On October 24, 1992, Gullah Gullah Island has its first episode premiere. On October 24, 1986, the first episode of the miniseries Shaka Zulu airs. This story chronicles the extraordinary life of the king of the Zulu kingdom. On October 24, 2024, unfortunately, it was reported that the legendary DJ Clark Kent passed away. This super producer helped to usher in some of hip-hop's most notable songs. His presence will be missed. On October 24, 1972, unfortunately, Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson passes away. On October 25, 1998, the famous Jet Jackson makes its television premiere. Jet Jackson plays a teenage secret agent on the wildly successful TV series Silverstone. The series stars the late Lee Thompson-Young and Montrose Hadgens, Ryan Summers-Baum, Carrie Duff, Gordon Green, Melanie Nichols-King. On October 25, 1940, Benjamin Oliver Davis, Sr. becomes the first African-American general of the United States Army. October 26, 2022, The Black Panther, Wakanda Forever premiered at the El Capitan Theater and the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, Los Angeles. This was another great installment from the amazing director Ryan Coogler. On October 26, 2024, on an Access Hollywood interview, Mr. Denzel Washington discussed his praise and admiration for his family. The new movie The Piano Lesson is an adaptation of an August Wilson play, but it's also a family affair. It's produced by Denzel Washington, directed by his youngest son Malcolm Washington, and stars his eldest son John David Washington, and features his wife Pauletta Washington and daughter Olivia Washington. On October 26, 1911, the esteemed Mahalia Jackson was born. She was a respected singer and noted as the queen of gospel singers. On October 27, 1954, Benjamin Oliver Davis, Jr. becomes the first black general in the Air Force. His father, Benjamin Oliver Davis, Sr., was the first black general of the Army. Benjamin Oliver Davis, Jr. was also a World War II Tuskegee Airman. October 27, 2010, Black Venus was released. This movie details the horrific life of Saartjie Baartman. Saartjie Baartman was a South African woman that was paraded around in freak shows due to her large buttocks. She died at the age of 26, but her remains were not buried until 200 years later. A cast of her body was displayed in a museum, and her organs were in jars. Saartjie Baartman was buried approximately August 10, 2002. On October 28, 2003, unfortunately, Marie Maynard Daly passes away. She was an esteemed biochemist. She was the first African American to receive a Ph.D. from Columbia University and the first African American woman in the United States to earn a Ph.D. in chemistry. On October 29, 2024, former President Barack Obama shares personal stories and experiences. He discusses family, leadership, sports, and marriage. On October 29, 1969, the U.S. Supreme Court rules that segregation in schools had to end immediately. The previous ruling states that segregation ends with all deliberate speed. On October 29th, Gabrielle Union was born. She is an esteemed actress that has played several iconic roles, to include Pauletta Patterson in the BET original Being Mary Jane. On October 29th, Melba Moore was born. She is a respected entertainer, singer, and actress. She even had her own show and received her Hollywood star on August 10th. On October 29, 1991, MC Hammer Too Legit to Quit album, his release. This Oakland native also brought Dance Moves and Trinity 5-7.
Juicy, got him crazy.
Country got you crazy. Okay, 357.
October 30th, 2021. Legendary poet, musician, and author Gil Scott-Heron was inducted posthumously in the Early Influencer category among the 2021 class of inductees at the 36th Annual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony held October 30th at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Cleveland, Ohio. Scott-Heron, who died in 2011, was represented by family at the ceremony. On October 30th, 2024, Shanice appears on Good Morning America to discuss her journey with breast cancer and the fact that black women are diagnosed at a higher rate. On October 30th, 1922, Marie Van Britten Brown was born. She was the inventor and forerunner of the home security system. On October 31st, 1950, Earl Francis Lloyd becomes that first African American to play on the NBA. He was an extraordinary player and later became a coach.